So that now that some of these rural Republican states, I like how Jasmine Crockett said, who are broke. Alabama, who's broke. Louisiana, who's broke. West Virginia, who's broke. Oklahoma, who's broke. Who get so many government subsidies from the federal government. Now that some of this is starting to bite home, and it's not hurting. It's not hurting the immigrants. It's not hurting the black people. It's hurting poor rural white people. Now we need to be more targeted with the cuts. We need to. I support all this cutting that DOGE doing, but we need to be more targeted. Do not let these people get away with this. This is your chance, Democrats, to stick it to them and say, hey, you like these programs? Well, these are programs that almost every Republican voted against in the House and the Senate. You like these benefits for farmers coming from the Inflation Reduction Act? Oh, you like that? But guess what? Joe Biden got that done. Kamala Harris, the Democrats in Congress, and guess what? Every Republican in the Congress voted against it. So there's no Republican who's representing you who voted for the program that you're taking advantage of and now that you want to keep. This is Democrats' time to really stick it to them. So they need to be out there everywhere. I don't care if it's rural, urban, anywhere. They need to be out there on the ground communicating to these people. This is the Republican Party. This has always been the Republican Party, and explain to them they cover it up, and they still get you to vote against your interests by using buzzwords, DEI, CRT, trans this, trans that, and they blackmail you using your understanding of your religion, and try to emotionally blackmail you into voting for policies that always hurt working people in general, poor people the most. And guess what? Not all poor people are Hispanic. Not all poor people are black. There are plenty. The majority of poor people are white people. So explain to these people in these rural Republican states who have Republican supermajorities, who are mostly broke. Many of these Republican states are broke, and they rely on big blue Democratic cities and Democratic states who they beline and demean to get tax dollars, and then redistribute that socialism type into these rural states for their education, for their roads, for their infrastructure. And they need to be made aware of this. And this is where big blue states and blue cities need to be fighting back also. You've seen how these Republican states went and shipped migrants who came to the United States, who probably had places they intended to go, and shipped them far away to Democratic cities in the cold. And of course, Democrats are human, so we're going to try to house and feed some of these, not house, but give these people shelter and feed some of these people instead of leave them out in the freezing cold with shorts on. Then that backfires on us. So we need to play the same game. We don't have to be as cruel, but we need to run a circus type show also, but just do it in a way that's factual and grounded in reality. So these Democratic states need to start saying, hey, I know you're constantly demeaning us, but guess what? You want to cut the Department of Education? That's fine. We want to keep all our money in California. We want to keep all our money in Washington State. We want to keep all our money in Massachusetts. We want to keep all our money in New York. We're tired of, subsidizing these poor, rural, MAGA Republican supermajority states who do nothing but demean and shit on Democratic cities, Democratic states, talk about crime. But guess what? When you have cities that are often the case in Democratic states that have millions of people, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, you're going to have crime. And even that, in many cases, the crime in Republican states and in Republican major cities are much higher per capita than in the Democratic cities. But we give up. We don't fight. That's the problem with the Democratic Party. We don't fight. We didn't fight on immigration. We didn't fight back on trans issues. Even though that may be unpopular right now with some, but you don't have to give up and not say nothing about it. You have to fight to get your message out to the American people. And eventually that will pay off. We fought on Obamacare, and eventually Obamacare became popular. If you don't fight, you're always going to lose that issue.